On this episode of RC Kicks, have you got an RC loved one? Are you looking for presents for them? Well, on today's show, we're going to cover some stocking fillers and some RC kit that I've had in that I've been impressed with over the year. Stay tuned. Bottom is from RC Skins. These, they make beautiful, oh, you can't really see that, can you? It's filthy. See, I do actually use the products I talk about. That'll do, I think. They're really nice because once you finish with the RC car, you can peel it off if you want, and the chassis is all nice and clean with no skid marks on it. Skid marks on it, can't say that. Hi and welcome to RC Kicks. On today's show I've got lots of RC stocking fillers, kits, ready to runs, all stuff that I've experienced over the last 12 months that has exceeded my expectations. And we'll kick off with this, the Tamiya Opel Calibra on the TA02 chassis. So why is this on the list? Well, it's a little bit more interesting than, say, the standard TT02s. It's still available. I got this one on the show mainly to put it on the show more than what I was looking for to add it to my personal collection. But once I put it together, it's absolutely stunning. It's a beautiful car, but it has the interest of a different chassis from the standard sort of TT02s, TT01s, that kind of thing. So if you're looking to buy for a RC enthusiast that likes the road cars, this might be worth a look. Currently this retails for £169. So if you're looking to buy for an RC fan who likes his road cars, this may be a car worth looking at. Next on the list is another Tamiya, not this one. It's the Porsche GT1 on the TA03R-S chassis. So why do I have this here? Well, a few of you might remember the fix and flip where I basically restored a vintage TA03F chassis. Well, the chassis that comes on the GT1 is the same variant in a slightly different configuration. So instead of spending £300 odd plus to restore a vintage one, you can get into this chassis for a much better price point. Now I will be getting one on the show and I will be building it, but I think it's another one of those cars where if you've already built a TT01 or a TT02 and you're getting a little bit bored of them and you would like to do a different chassis, you can also mix and match your bodies just like I did with this one. That's definitely something I think is worth getting into, why the opportunity is still available. It'll be coming to the show as soon as I get one. Next is a selection of budget ready to run cars that have totally outperformed their price point. Now we're kicking off with one in the UK, and that is the FTX Vantage 2.0. A fantastic buggy that you can pick up ready to run for £119. So what's so special about it? Well, you can run it on 3S if you want to really get it up and going, and if you enjoy it, you will break it at some point. And the good news is in the UK, parts are super cheap and easily available. Also, if you decide that you want to spend some more money on your buggy, you can with replacement metal chassis, carbon chassis, lots of other metal parts, so you can spend as much as you like on this budget buggy if you so wish. Or just drive it, break it, fix it, drive it, break it and fix it. Guilt-free RC with no worries that you're going to smash up a £300 buggy. Next on the list is a buggy that needs no introduction whatsoever. It's the WLTOYS 124019. This is the brushed version, but why do I have this on the show, not the brushless? Well, I did have a brushless version for review, and I found one thing that put me off was the cogging that you got from the car. And being that the 550 motor in the original one made it so quick, I don't think it added anything apart from to the price. Now you can currently pick these up for £83, so it's still, this is my go-to WLTOYS. I love this thing. Being a slightly longer wheelbase, it's very stable. People do crazy speed runs for it. Part availability is very easy and very cheap. So how can you not recommend it? And the third one on the list is this, the EMB-1 from LC Racing. Now prices, this is a little bit more expensive, so you need slightly deeper pockets, but you'll be looking around £160 to £170 if you shop around. But what do you get for that? Well, you get fantastic quality. It is probably one of the best quality small buggies you're going to find on the market. One thing for sure, we've seen a lot of really good quality budget RTR buggies coming out to the market. So in 2020, 2022, I can only see this continuing, so we should see, as a consumer, even better quality buggies coming out and at fantastic price points. Next on the list is the Ford F-350 from Tamiya. So why have I got this on the list? Well, first of all, it's a little bit more niche and you're going to need some deep pockets. Now, I'm not just talking about the F-350. There is a few variants that Tamiya put out with this chassis. Also, there is some aftermarket reproduction versions if your pockets are not as deep as they need to be to go with the Tamiya one. But really, for me, this is fantastic for those people that have built maybe 5 or 6 different buggies, road cars, and have kind of just gone, well, I've built a load of buggies, I've built a load of road cars, what's next? The enjoyment of building this kit is fantastic. It's definitely another step forward, having to do the 3-speed transmission, the different suspension, the few little upgrades. It's kind of half model, half RC, and it's just so much fun to build. Now, from a running point of view, it's terrible. It's terrible, it really is. But the engineering aspect of it and changing gears and stuff like that, it's just something completely different. So I found it to be highly enjoyable. So if you have deep enough pockets or you chase down a reproduction, I can recommend this if you're looking for that experience. Now, the burning question, how much are they? Well, I shopped around this morning in the UK and you're looking at £367 to £400. So like I said, deep pockets. Now we have 2 buggies for the people that are looking for the creme de la creme of building experience. That's these 2, the Kyosho Turbo Optima. Granted, this came out in 2019, but to date, it's still, my personal opinion, the best building experience from quality, vintage looks, and drivability. The Kyosho Turbo Optima, which is still available currently. Grab it while you can. Currently, you're looking at £369 in the UK. Now, we don't know if they're going to carry on producing these or not. So if you've been umming and ahhing about it, you need to get one of these. They are absolutely stunning, and I cannot stress how good they are. On the other side, we have Tamiya with the Top Force Evo re-release. Came out earlier this year. It's a reproduction of the Top Force Evolution that came out back in the day. Not only is it an absolute stunning looking buggy and a true icon, it has beautiful carbon, it has the hop-up suspension, so the build experience is absolutely beautiful. Currently, you can pick this up for £389, but I think it's going to fizzle out, so if you've been on the fence, I highly recommend picking one up. Now, before we move on to the RC stocking filler section of the show and maybe address the elephant in the room, there's one other vehicle that I've had in the last year that I was super impressed with, but unfortunately I sold it on to buy this monster, and that is the Arrma Vortex, a 1/10 basher buggy that came out earlier in the year. It's a brushless super rocket that's great fun. Now, I am no serious basher, so it was more than enough for what I needed, and I was really chuffed with it. Currently, they're £421 in the UK, and I was just really impressed. Now we move on to this monster, which needs no introduction for 2 reasons. 1, it is an insanely popular RC, and 2, it's written on the side, obviously. And that is the monstrous Traxxas XMaxx. Now, this is not for everyone, but you cannot take away from Traxxas. They produced one of the finest basher buggies ever made. The thing is a monster. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It is pretty bomb-proof. People abuse the life out of these. I don't go anywhere near the kind of level of abuse that these can take, and with a few modifications they'll take even more. But if you have the £1,000 to drop on one of these and you have the space, one of the main issues is storage space and running space. They're so fast and you can make them even quicker. You need big open space to run them. Yes, you can run them at skate parks if you have one close to you, but remember, if you're driving this on a skate park, you can't do it while there's tons of children around, because it is pretty lethal. And that's one aspect that I think is a bit of a negative. If you have young children yourself and you go out walking, and taking them while you're going to be running this is probably not a good idea, because if you drive this into a young child, you're really going to hurt them. So I think that's where the limiting factor of this is. But I have to say, not being a hardened basher myself, I love this thing. It is absolutely amazing. beautiful truck. But when the batteries go flat and you've got to drag it back to your car, it's a pain in the backside. Oh, and if you're spending £1,000 on one of these, don't forget you need to buy batteries, and they are not cheap. You'll spend £150 to £200 on batteries for it. Right, that wraps up all the nice toys. Let's go and look at the RC stocking fillers. The first stocking filler is this, the FlySky Noble NB4. Now, if like me, you had entry-level transmitters and you could see there's a whole range of price points for transmitters, how do you justify all that extra cost when I'm reasonably happy with my budget transmitter? Well, lucky enough, I got this in for review and I was blown away. Now, this is not top of the range by any means. It's like the next step up. And for the money, I can highly recommend it. If you have used budget transmitters before and you're thinking maybe you want to treat yourself this Christmas, this is definitely a place worth looking. Bang for buck, it is beautifully made, machined metal, the GUI interface, and what you can do with this transmitter, as well as it's for left-handed and right-handed people, it's just beautiful. So you do feel like you got your money's worth. Currently, you're looking at around £150, but do shop around. Another good stocking filler, and a question I get asked quite a lot, is how do I clean my cars? And I use this, it's Muc-Off. It's basically a bike cleaner. Good thing is it doesn't affect things like paint and stuff like that. 1 litre is $5.99, but you can also get it in 5 litres for about $13.99. They sell it in the UK in stores like Halfords and things like that, but you can order it online. Really good. It's probably worth getting a 1 litre, and then if you like it, buy the 5 litre and then just top up the bottle when you get low like I am here. Now, I've never been sponsored with this. I just buy these and I like it, so I use it. The next stocking filler is a super cheap one and a brilliant little gift. It's this. They're about £7.50. It is a Lipo Reader, so it can tell you what's going on with your Lipo batteries, and you need to have loads of these lying around because it's a pain trying to find one. When you want to check your Lipos to make sure they haven't gone too low, or you want to make sure that each cell is balanced nicely and they're in storage percentage and all that kind of fun stuff, these are great. You just plug them in and it tells you when you're out bashing and stuff like that. I keep it in my pocket and I always check batteries and stuff like that as and when I need to. So brilliant stocking filler and highly recommended. There's hundreds of these. They're all pretty much the same, but this is the one that I use and it hasn't given me any problems. The next little stocking filler that I can highly recommend is this. Not this one exactly, but in general, it is body tape. You can do a lot of stuff with this and really lift up your bodies. As you can see from something like this, all that is done with tape. So you can get a really beautiful finish. And it's not that expensive and it lifts everything, especially if you've got road cars. You can do all the doors and the bonnets and things like that. So I can highly recommend it. It's not that difficult to use. The reason I don't recommend this one particular is I have had a few little lifting issues. Now, you can get it from other mainstream brands like Tamiya do it, Kyosho do it, but I haven't tried those, so I can't honestly say whether the Edition is better or worse than the eBay specials that I use. But you do get quite a lot of this and you get lots of different sizes, so it's the one I kind of use. And it's good enough. It's just sometimes round real sharp corners you can find you get a bit of lifting, but I tend to use a hairdryer and that helps. Anyway, a great little stocking filler, highly recommend it. Another great stocking filler for someone to get you for your RC habit is batteries, and these are 2 batteries that I go to all the time. As you can see, they've done a few miles. I've got multiple of these because they just seem to work. I've never had any problems with them and I'm super happy with them from the price point and the power delivery, so I just buy more and more of the same ones. There's 2S and 3S. Now that's a 4000 milliamp and the form factor of a Tamiya battery. Why am I such a fan of those? Well, it delivers power so much better, but the main thing I like them for is they're so much lighter. Now, obviously, the old vintage cars were designed to carry around such heavy batteries, so by losing all that extra weight, the cars come alive a little bit more, as well as the power that's delivered to them is a little bit more perky, so they just really like it. Now, there's many different versions of these, so I'm not saying that you should just get this exact one. This one's kind of coming to the end of its life, being that it's just turning into a tatty mess. But this one retails for about £24, and there's a few other versions. There's a Core RC version, but if you do a search for 2S Lipo in Tamiya form, there's quite a few. Now, I can't really vouch for those because I haven't had them, and being that I don't have any problems with these, I'll just buy like 3-4 of these and just use them as and when. The other battery is a 3S battery. It's this one. There's a Sports Trax 4500. I try to get as much capacity as possible because when you're out there, you just want to keep running, right? The 55C. Now, the reason I like these, they fit perfectly in things like a CC02, TT01, TT02. You can drop them in and then you're putting 3S power through them and it's brilliant. And they fit snugly. Quality wise, I always like to go for hard cases instead of soft cases. Gives them a little bit more protection. So can't really complain. This one is £44.64, but you can shop around. There's a few different versions of these. But the main thing with Lipo is you just got to look after them. If you look after them, they tend to look after you. And last but not least is this. No, I know what you're thinking. This is not a stocking filler. No, this is not a stocking filler, but what attached to the bottom is, and that is RC skins, chassis protectors with cool artwork. I don't know if you can really see that, but I hope it shows up that you can get these for all types of cars, be it Arrma, as big things as the XMaxx, Traxxas, loads of other Traxxas, but soon they're also going to be doing Tamiya as well. So they're a brilliant little thing. They're not that expensive. You can pick them up from anything from £15 to £20, and they're a brilliant stocking filler for any RC enthusiast. Right, I think we just about cover it. Hope you enjoyed that. Comment below, let me know, is there anything that you want to get for Christmas, or you think something I should be looking at myself? See you soon. Bye-bye.